What is up, everyone? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to another PE news video that I have here for you guys. So today we've got some awesome information for you, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So Atlas has given an update on Persona 5 and streaming. So let's go ahead and read off what they had to say, then I'll go ahead and give my insight on this whole thing. So when Persona 5 launched, we put out a set of video/streaming guidelines that we hoped would limit online spoilers for fans who have yet to play the game. To our surprise, we saw numerous reactive news articles go up, opinion posts, and received many emails asking us to please change our Persona 5 streaming/video policy. We recognize that our fans are the reason why the game is a major worldwide success it is, and we continue to want them to be able to enjoy the game without fear of being spoiled. However, we also heard your issues with the guidelines and have decided to revise them because we want to give players the most access to the game while respecting the original goal. We are now asking players to refrain from streaming or posting video past the end of the in-game date of 11/19 when the main story gears up for the final act. We also want to apologize to those of you who saw the previous guidelines blog post as threatening. We want to be transparent about what we do, and the reason we released the guidelines was to give streamers the right information up front. It was never our intent to threaten people with copyright strikes, but we clearly chose the wrong tone for how to communicate this. So really listen to what they said there. They said that it was never our intent to threaten people with copyright strikes. Just listen to that. Now, here's the last part. Lastly, we want to thank our fans around the world for supporting Persona 5 and Atlas. The game is a global success because of your passion for the series, and we're happy that so many of you are enjoying it. Now, I do want to talk about this because they said it was never our intent to threaten with copyright strikes. How is this never your intent, Atlas? Look, I like Atlas games just as much as anyone else. I love Persona 5, but I have not streamed Persona 5 on this channel because I was afraid of copyright strikes, and I listen to the rules. If that's what they say, then that's fine. It's their game. I will abide by them, and I'll just send them a message. I said, hey Atlas, it would be cool if you guys would change this. That's all I said. Wasn't angry, wasn't cussing them out, wasn't doing any of that. Just said, hey, it'd be cool if you guys would change this. Now, here's what they say in their original post. It says this. This is what they say in their original post. When it comes to streaming content, if you decide to stream past 7/7, I highly recommend not doing this. You have been warned. You do so at the risk of being issued a content ID claim or worse, a channel strike/account suspension. How are you telling me that it was never your intent to threaten us with strikes when you clearly intended to threaten us with strikes? It says that right there. It says that don't do this or you can be striked or a channel suspension. You threatened strikes, you threatened suspension. It was your intent in order to get people to not do it. You were trying to intimidate streamers in order to get them to not do something. I don't see why you'd come with this post and say it was never our intent to do so. We communicated that wrong. No, you guys didn't communicate anything wrong. It was exactly what you guys said you wanted to do. You wanted to discourage from people from doing it by threatening them with their channel as far as the health of their channel when it comes to content ID claims and strikes and all of that. I mean, there's no need to try to cover it up or say, oh, it was a miscommunication. No, it wasn't. I mean, look, you guys were trying to do that. I understand. And that's the reason why there's a lot of people who didn't. But then a lot of people who just did and said, well, come at me, bro. I still love Atlas. I still love their games and everything. But I just don't like the fact they're saying, oh, it was never our intent to do so. Yes, it was your intent, and you guys definitely did do it. I do think that this policy change also comes down, we're what, almost 3 weeks or so after the release of Persona 5, and maybe that's given a lot of people time to beat the game, so then now they come with these revised plans right now. But hey, it is what it is. Persona 5 is still awesome. Still bought it, loved it, bought the Take My Heart edition. And like I said, this is just constructive towards Atlas, not trying to rip them or anything or say don't buy their games or don't buy Persona. I still promoted Persona, and I did do one video on Persona 5 saying that, hey, you should buy it. It's good, as far as the preview goes in the game. So yeah, no hard feelings or anything, just saying, hey, you guys did try to threaten people with copyright strikes. There's no need to say that you weren't trying to or it was never your intent. It was your intent. Now moving on to the next article here. So Call of Duty World War II launches on November 3rd. The first details, trailers, and screenshots. So there was a live stream, and I know some of you guys were asking me, hey, are you going to live stream this? And I decided against it because I knew it was going to be boring. And the live stream was boring. It was boring, especially if you're not like a Call of Duty nut. Maybe if you love Call of Duty, you want to hear every single little detail about the game, maybe it was exciting for you. But for my audience and for me, myself, no, I don't think it was very exciting at all. There wasn't a lot of gameplay. There was a lot of talking to the actors and stuff. There was some information though. There were some new screenshots. They had a brand new trailer. I'm hearing that people are getting content ID claimed for that trailer, so you won't see the actual trailer, but you will see screenshots from the game. And like I said, it does come out November 3rd. There's also some information here. We're going to go over some of the key points as far as the game goes. So they said that there's going to be blockbuster World War II action. Call of Duty World War II features the epic scale, cinematic moments, and intensity that only Call of Duty delivers. All set against the backdrop of the largest global conflict in history, the game refines World War II for a new generation, delivering an experience that was not possible on previous systems. Camaraderie. Featuring a global cast of characters across Europe, players will follow the gripping story of Ronald "Red" Daniels, a young United States Army private, as he and his squad, legendary U.S. 1st Infantry Division, trek through the harrowing European theater of war, joining Allied forces from the UK and the French resistance across the breaches of Normandy to the liberation of Paris and ultimately into Germany. The squad must fight alongside a global and diverse cast of characters to achieve victory. Delivers a gritty, authentic, and cinematic intensity of World War II combat, honoring the unforgettable heroism of the fighting first. An immersive gameplay experience. Call of Duty World War II brings to life some of the most iconic moments of World War II, including the D-Day invasion of Normandy, with incredible visuals and awe-inspiring sound that puts players in the middle of the action. And here's some information on multiplayer. There's going to be a few different modes here. Headquarters, offering a robust social space dedicated to engagement of the front lines. Headquarters paves the way for all new avenues of multiplayer interaction, recognition, and awards unlike anything experienced in the franchise to date. Divisions, a new way to engage in a player's multiplayer career. Divisions immerse players in the heroic journey of enlisting in the world's most historic war. Choose from a variety of divisions, including infantry and armored divisions. War Mode, a new multiplayer experience that immerses players in iconic World War II battles where Allied and Axis clash in team-driven gameplay in the fight for strategic objectives. Boots on the ground gameplay. Multiplayer marks the return to iconic boots on the ground Call of Duty gameplay that fans know and love, featuring an arsenal of World War II era weapons and fast-paced, heart-pumping, intense run and gun action. There's also co-cooperative mode. So Call of Duty's World War II co-cooperative mode unleashes a new and original story in the next level standalone game experience full of unexpected adrenaline-pumping moments, to be announced soon. There's also pre-orders and all of that. More information on that in the link below. So what do you guys think about Call of Duty World War II? I was bored watching it, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a good game, especially if they're taking like everything that they did beforehand. They're adding a bunch of new stuff, going back to the boots in the ground gameplay that everyone's been trying to hype up at this point. So it's probably going to be a good game. They don't have to worry about crazy wall running and all of this other stuff that they've been doing beforehand. They can just make a solid shooter, and I think fans are going to appreciate that, people that love Call of Duty. I do feel that this game, as far as like what they did, like if you watch the live stream, how they went to different places, they took photographs, the authenticity of the whole thing is really cool, and it just goes to show you that these dudes put in a lot of time and work into this content. So I don't want to disrespect what they do just because I'm not into it as much. So I definitely want to give them props for everything that they did as far as traveling all the way over there and doing that. I barely want to go to tournaments down in Los Angeles. So for them to fly over there and take all those pictures and study up and do everything they need to do, that's definitely admirable in their field. You have to have a passion in order to go out there and do that. It doesn't matter if you're getting paid X amount or whatever. You still need to get up, get on the plane, and go do that. So I can definitely respect like their craft and what they do and what they're trying to design with this style of game. Now, is this something that I'm going to pick up or play? Depends on the file size. Once again, if this thing's 100 gigabytes or anywhere near 100 gigabytes, I'm not going to buy it full price. I will wait and wait and wait, and maybe if it's on sale sometime, I will buy it then. But I refuse to buy any game that's near 100 gigabytes. I'm not doing that to my hard drive. I don't care. Optimize the game. So we'll see what happens there. But I know a lot of you guys are excited for this. You guys were talking to me on Twitter about it, and hopefully it turns out to be a good game. All right, moving on to the next article here. There's a new Fate Extella title in development. So a new entry in the Fate Extella series is in development. Marvelous announced during the Fate/Grand Order Chaldea radio station special special Fate/Extra CCC special event commemoration broadcast. That was the actual name of it. Details including platforms were not announced. Other than that, the game will focus on servant action and to do various different things. Please wait for a follow-up report for more information. The first game, Fate/Extella the Umbral Star, is available now for the PlayStation 4 and PS Vita and will launch this July for the Nintendo Switch courtesy of XSEED. Not much information that was shown off here. I'm not sure how Fate/Extella did as far as sales go, but it did well enough apparently to warrant a sequel. So we'll see how it is, and it's coming out this July for the Nintendo Switch. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. Morgan Stanley analyst believes Nintendo Switch is on its way to being a big hit, talks sales projections and more. So the following comes from Morgan Stanley analyst Masahiro Ono. He believes that the Nintendo Switch is on its way to being a big hit, projects annual sales of the Switch to grow for the next 3 years from 8.7 million in 2018 to 18 million in 2020. Only by 2021 will sales begin to fall off, but still to an impressive 12.5 million. He sees total sales of 54 million Switch units by 2021. Not sure Switch will beat Wii in total unit sales, but sees it being more profitable. The Nintendo Switch is proving to be very competitive, and we anticipate strong sales for core game titles, boosting our conviction in the OP growth through F320. Near term, we think the stock will rise as sales trends for likely hit titles are factored in. As a home console, shipments would likely fall short of the Wii, but given that the Nintendo Switch users are less likely to be light users versus the Wii base, we expect higher tie ratio and profitability. Since the March 3rd Nintendo Switch launch, Nintendo has outperformed TOPIX, but probably not beyond the point where pre-launch expectations are priced in. We doubt the success/failure of the real game console cycle is properly reflected. Furthermore, we expect the Nintendo Switch tie ratio to be higher than that of the Wii period. If our analysis is correct, software profit contributions should exceed the profit effects of the increased hardware shipments, which we still think is insufficiently priced into the stock. Some of these projections, like I said, are just crazy. We don't know what Nintendo is going to do in the next 2 or 3 years. They could have revisions, they can have other things that help boost or maybe even decline sales based on certain things. So we just don't know, but I will say this, Nintendo has solid plans for software. That's one thing that we do know. So just using solid plans for software, I can easily see the Nintendo Switch selling a good 10 to 13 million. That's just my guess. I don't know 100%. Not trying to say there's any data to back up any of this. I'm just saying it based on what I'm seeing as far as software wise. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you ninja for the next video. Peace.